Okay, welcome back everyone to another special episode of Yoda's Hut. I'm Bill. I go by Yodaman on the boards, and once again I'm joined for commentary by Derek. Hey Derek, how's it going?
I'm doing okay.
All right, so in this game, this is the second game of the last round of Swiss in the online tourney between myself. I'm on the right playing Mitch 2480 on the boards. If you watched the first game, you saw that Mitch won a long drawn out game there. There was a lot of back and forth, kind of could have gone either way. Some few mistakes on both our ends that ultimately he was able to take advantage of. So we've switched sides here. In this game, I am playing a Smuggler Jedi deck that I basically played the whole tournament. It's done fairly well for me. I lost with it last week against Kirimo, but I won with it the first 3 weeks. It's Smuggler's affiliation 2 Trust Me, 2 Asteroid Sanctuary, 2 Across the Anawat Sector, 2 False Report, and 2 May the Force Be With You. And Mitch is playing a Navy more capital ship deck. He's got 2 Tarkin Doctrine, 2 Deploy the Fleet, 2 Might of the Empire, 2 Endor Entrapment, 1 Entrenched Defense, and then he's got 1 Admiral's Assault, Piet, in his deck, which is a pretty interesting addition to the deck there, I guess, especially since there aren't a ton of fake cards really in some of those other sets. But I guess he wanted to use it. It's got a lot of pips. You might as well throw something like that in there. So you have any initial thoughts about our decks as we get set up here? I think Mitch is mulliganing and shuffling again.
Yeah, Navy's pretty straightforward. There's lots of ways to do it, but it's always like the base 7 or 8 are pretty much set, and then it's kind of personal preference for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, like me personally, I as much as I love the gladiators, I most of the time I tend to run that just as a one of now, just because there's so many other good things I'd rather run.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you.
Um, your deck is interesting in that it's not necessarily likely that you're going to get Yoda. I mean, he's good. There's still a decent chance to get it on the flop, but it's not something you can bank on being able to play him.
Yeah. And
So, but he is a good edge card, though. I do see that.
yeah.
So,
And Mitch flipped up Entrenched Defense, Might of the Empire, and Deploy the Fleet. And I flipped up False Report because I actually drew both of them, Asteroid Sanctuary and Anawat. So this was about the worst kind of possible flop I could have had. I think the only thing that could have been worse is if I'd had 2 Asteroid Sanctuary with the 2 False Reports. Um, Mainly because I either want to hit May the Force Be With You, like you said, so I could potentially play Yoda and just that's such a good objective out, or Trust Me, so I'd have 5 resources in case I have Falcon in my hand. So I only got 4 resources and didn't get the potential for the 5th resource or May the Force Be With You, so I was pretty annoyed about that. And he is playing the Death Squadron Command 3 resource thing here for 3. And I figure I'm about to see a bunch of ships come out now, probably. And then he's playing Admiral's Order to play a Gladiator for 1. And he's still got a few cards in his hand. And it looks like he's got some damage tokens out that he might be getting ready to damage, deploy the fleet, and put something else out. So he is see what he's doing here. And yeah, he's throwing 1 damage on it and 3 resources on the Death Squadron Command to play the heavy cruiser from the Gladiator set. So that's a pretty good start for him, especially considering what I ended up drawing with my hand here after I mulliganed. I had a kind of a so-so hand from what I can remember that didn't have a resource. I think it had like some big stuff that I knew I couldn't play, like I think it had a Yoda and a Falcon. And then I drew in a hand that had a Freeholder, 2 Falcon, and both my Yoda. So I had 4 units I couldn't play. A Smuggling Run or something like that I just discarded, and something else. And luckily when I discarded that, I drew an Undercover Operative, the mighty Undercover Operative that I was able to play for free because he had focused all his objectives. And I said, well, at least I got a unit I can play. I guess I'm going to go dump my hand here a little bit. So I'm sending in the operative after Entrenched Defense. He's going to block with I guess there with the cruiser, and it's more
You
about
might
how
as
much I want
well.
to pitch here. So I put a card in. He put one in. I don't know what it is. He must have tried to get rid of something. I'm probably hoping he doesn't have a twist. Not that I really care because I'm going to dump a bunch of cards anyway. So I put 2 cards in.
Well, the only icon your operative has is a blast,
Yeah,
right? So he's
yep,
preventing the blast if he wins the edge.
yep. So I put in 3 cards, and I had 10 pips because I threw in Yoda, Freeholder, and Outmaneuver. And he actually put in, I think that was
He had
the
6 pips.
6. He had
Those
the
are
healing thing and the tractor beam. And I remember Mitch
yeah.
was like, "Oh my gosh, you got locked out of Jedi." And I said, "Well, that wasn't that unlikely. I've only got the 2 in the deck." I gave him information at that point because I realized this game was going to be over quickly. There wasn't much I was going to be able to do unless I got some really, really fortunate draws. So I hung on to a Falcon and one of the Yodas, mainly just so I'd have another Yoda for an edge battle if I got anything out. And of course, he kills my undercover operative there. He's got balanced out. It's going to go to 3. I think I said, "Oh, can I draw a card with Asteroid Sanctuary?" He said, "Yeah." Not that it probably was going to help me because I did win the edge battle. He let me do it. I think at that point he saw the writing on the wall that this was going to be over quickly. That he's got to deploy the fleet out so he can get things out cheaper. Might's going to keep his capital ships elite, and he's got a lot of good stuff he can play. There's a fleet staging area for free, just in case he didn't have enough resources yet.
Yeah, he needs now is just while you're crippled, he needs something big to just go to work and put the heat on you.
Yeah, I think I reminded him he didn't have the the cruiser. He
Hmm.
forgot to unfocus. So he's playing the fleet navigator there. So he's got a short, a guy with tactics, cheap tactics in case I happen to play a sleuth, which he probably realized I had, even though if I had him, I would have been playing him first turn. That's for sure because he wouldn't have been able to stop him. But
Yeah.
and it looks like he's thinking about maybe playing something else because he's still got 3 resources plus deploy the fleet. He just put another damage on there.
I think that's Chimera, isn't
And
it?
he's playing Chimera for 5, and he used the Fleet Navigator. Um, guess he's
It
figuring it
means
doesn't matter. If he
you're
doesn't have a blocker, he doesn't care, I guess. So he sends Chimera in and does 3 to Anawat.
well, is that entrenched defenses? Is that his top objective there?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Sure.
so even if you do get an Anawat or a sleuth out there to go after deploy, he can redirect you.
Yeah.
So unless you draw 2 of them, you're not.
Yeah. And it looks like he's thinking about does he want to attacking it or just pass turn. So he just passed turn, left his cruiser and the gladiator back on defense. And I'm probably deciding do I want to just pitch the Yoda or not. I have 3 cards. I pitched Yoda. Can't play him anyway. I left Falcon. Maybe I should have pitched Falcon, but that was at least possibly going to get out. I got a resource. Problem is I needed that before. And I'm playing a sleuth. And I'm pretty sure that's all I was able to end up playing that turn too.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think Mitch said he should have left his blocker there. And I said, I don't think it's really going to matter. So you're probably going to win next turn. Or at least get awfully close to it. So there's not much point in me not attacking. So I think I sent the sleuth in after. I think I probably said I'll try to attack, deploy the fleet, and he said he redirected.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Well, he can't win next turn unless he has the happy alligator in his hand.
And I put in a target and I pitched a Yoda Usik Yoda that I couldn't play either. So doing the damage to deploy the fleet and then Anawat bonus and the unopposed and the blast. So I'm going to actually get 5 on, or sorry, not deploy the fleet, entrenched defense, sorry about that. So I got 5 on there.
Pitched your Seek Yoda. Both your Yodas are already in your discard.
Yeah, they were in discard and I had no thing to play it with anyway. Pass turn, dial goes to 5. And
I think if I'm him, I almost don't want to kill Anawat because I don't want you to draw me the Force.
yeah.
Although with both Yodas being gone, it wouldn't be that big a deal now.
Right. I mean, I could free up stuff, but who really cares? So he just pitched a goal line defender, probably figuring he didn't need that.
Yeah.
So I got a little bit of damage in, but some of the damage is from him. And there's another fleet staging area. 3
Yeah.
resources are good. And then a rule by fear, I guess because I played the sleuth.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Like, yippee. Now, I do still have Falcon in my hand, so I can please play Falcon. I can Falcon into a freeholder. He couldn't rule by fear that, but... So Mitch has a free board to swing at here. He can certainly lock down my sleuth if he wants to. And it looks like he's going to swing with Chimera after Asteroid Sanctuary. Do 3 damage on it unless he has some other trick. And focus the sleuth. And he might even want to just put the gladiator in and get a couple more damage on false report. I'm sure he would have assumed, which would be accurate, that if I put up a false report, then I probably buried the other one.
Yeah.
So there's been a couple times I've played decks similar to this where I don't do that, just to try to throw off my opponent.
Mm-hmm.
But that was not what happened in this game. Oh, he was playing an edge card there, I guess, beforehand, before it went to unopposed. Yeah. I don't know what he was doing. Oh, I think he was pitching a card so I wouldn't be able to play freeholders is what he wanted to do, just in case I drew one. Yeah, so he pitched 2 cards in edge just to get him out of his hand. One of them was Moment of Triumph. He should have just wiped my board.
He'd lose just as many units as you.
He would only... Yeah, that's true. But, well, I meant he could have done it after the fact. So he got 2 damage on false report.
Yeah, but you still got him there to block.
Yep. So we're going to conflict here. Or sorry, going to my turn, I should say. Conflict is over. So I got to take 1 off the sleuth, see if I can draw anything here decent. And I just discarded, I think that was a saboteur. If that could hit rule by fear, it'd be a different story, but I can't hit that.
Nope.
So my guess is I'm probably... I got another resource. I really could have used that turn 1. That would have been so much more helpful. It might have been a little bit different situation. And then there's Falcon. But I'm sort of kind of stuck here. If I go and use attack with Falcon, I'm just going to really have no defenders left probably, unless I can bring in something decent. And I think in my hand, all I had a couple 2-cost units, so I figured if I drop him in, he'll just rule by fear him and then have nothing. So I think what I actually ended up doing here was committing Falcon and taking balance. Too little, too late. But mainly just because there was, like I said, really no point for me to attack. Because of the rule by fear being out.
I think the one thing I would have done differently that you have is with you keeping your Falcon, all you had to do was just get 1 resource, and if that resource doesn't come, I think you're dead anyway.
Uh-huh.
So I think I probably, with keeping that Falcon, I would have kept a Yoda as well.
Yeah.
And you just have to, if the resource doesn't come, it doesn't come, but that's your only prayer, is to get Falcon and Yoda going.
Yeah.
With the type of onslaught that he was going to be able to bring.
Right. So I did take balance back. The dial will only go to 6, but I think it's just...
Yeah.
The writing is on the wall here.
Yeah, because now there's the only hope you've got for Falcon is a freeholder.
Right.
That's, as far as units that are actually going to do you any good.
Right.
Especially with the ruled by fear out there.
Right. Yeah, I don't really have anything. I guess I could put a Lando in if I had Lando. I think I didn't have my light side force cards. I just grabbed the right one. I used my dark side one. Not that it mattered. Like I said, this game was pretty much over on the flop. My one cat was trying to get in the way.
Yeah, he's pretty interested.
Yeah.
Looks a lot like mine.
Yeah, I think she was like, yeah, you're so dead. She was just taunting me.
She was up there for moral support.
She was taunting me. Like, Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
and
There's nothing there.
Mitch just dropped the big fatty there,
Yeah,
the Star Destroyer or Destroyer Squad, whatever the hell that guy's called.
right. And there really was nothing I could do at this point. I can't really block.
He's got the blast to take out everything
Right,
out
because
there.
then he just played the Stormtrooper assault team. And any chance I had of trying to do something tricksy with Falcon went out the window with that.
Yeah.
Um, so I said, Mitch basically has the win on the board here. There's not going to be anything I can do. I said, yeah. He may not know that because he doesn't know what's in my hand, but I know I have, like, I think I had a Saboteur, another Saboteur. I had the other one in my hand and a Cloud City Operative. And so anything I put in, he was just going to take out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I think he's playing it right here.
yeah. He's,
He's gonna force you to bring the Falcon in right now.
yep. Yeah. He's,
And that way you're gonna have to bounce it or win edge or whatever.
yeah.
Well, maybe he's not.
I don't think you want to put the Gladiator in.
No. You need the Gladiator and the Chimera to take out the other two objectives.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he should be attacking the top one, the one that's got 2 damage on it.
Yeah, because there's not going to be anything I can do about that. I mean, barring a surprise shield. He's rethinking. He's just got too many options of how he can blow up all my objectives here. Is the problem. All right, so now he's changing his mind. He's sending the Gladiator and the Stormtrooper in after, I guess, something that has 3 damage on it. That's all I could think of here.
Well, I hope he's confident he can win edge.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't win edge, you're gonna live the turn.
Yeah, that's true. I remember thinking that when he did that play, I was like, oh well. But I was also thinking, man, my edge hand's crappy. So,
Yeah, you do have 4 cards to his 2 though, so that surprises me that he would go that route.
Oh, I think he has about 4 cards in his hand.
Does he? I thought he just held up 2. I might be wrong. No, maybe he does have more.
Yeah. And he's got the Gladiator, so he can drop a card in too. That's just so hard to play around. So
Yeah.
we both had edge 1, so he had to put 1 in, and I put 1 in. I guess I was thinking about did I want to put 1 in. I don't know why you wouldn't. Unless I'm sure he's twisting, I think I want to put 1 in. I think Mitch he had, like, his phone rang or something. I had to go catch it real quick. Just prolonging my agony here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the almighty Sarlacc. I'm just like waiting for the end. Slow, painful death here.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm a little surprised he did it like you said. I think he might have been better off just doing this attack like he was going to with Falcon and pulling Falcon in with the cruiser and the big ship, which he could shield then anyway. Just blow it up, making me defend with Falcon, and then even if I drop something in, really, is it going to matter? I mean,
he could have done something similar with Chimera, which Falcon was unable to kill.
Right, that's true too.
Use like Chimera in that ship to pull Falcon in. You're going to be forced to bounce at that point.
Yeah. So I put a card in. I guess I just waited till he got back. So I had a twist, and he had a twist. So.
Well, the thing is, you've got to save a card to use to pitch with Falcon also, so he knows you can't put every card in.
Yep. So he just put 1 in, and I think I had about 3 pips in my hand at this point.
No.
And I guess he was debating a second one. And I put 2 in. I think I saved my Cloud City Operative, not that it was going to matter. And yep, I had 2, and he had 3, I guess, because he had a battle on Endor there. I don't think anything Endor is out.
Nope.
So I almost, at this point, I'm sort of stuck. I have to bounce Falcon, otherwise he could just shoot it with the Stormtrooper. I put in the Cloud City Operative and then used it to focus the Stormtrooper, I think. But that doesn't matter because he can focus the Cloud City Operative with the Gladiator. Yeah.
Yeah, and now he's got the win on the board.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know why I accidentally put the damage on the Cloud City Operative instead of Anno. That blows that up, and then that's it. Now I can just blow up the other 2 objectives. I have no tricks, no cards in hand. Well, I have Falcon in hand, but that's not going to help me. I was actually surprised he didn't just rule by fear it. I guess it didn't really matter, but.
Yeah, he didn't have to.
Right.
Oh.
So, but anyway, yeah, so that does it. We're just kind of saying, yeah, you got it. You play it out. So, I didn't give Mitch much of a fight in that game. My deck really just kind of stalled out on me from the start. I think I lost that game on the flop, and he was playing a pretty good Navy deck there, even though it had Piet, which I didn't even realize. So, well-deserved win for Mitch there. Good games against him. I said, enjoyed playing such a great player, and he won that online tourney last year, so I think the community knows how good he is. So you got any final thoughts about this game here before we start to wrap it up?
Pretty one-sided beatdown. Yeah, your deck just folded in on you. I mean, when you run those kind of crazy, 8-2 splits with going the resource the other way, sometimes that can just happen.
Yeah.
And that's really what it did. You could have been playing against a starter deck over there, and you probably would have lost with that type of draw.
Yeah,
So.
I might have. No resources, not being able to get Falcon out, him playing enough stuff so I couldn't play freeholders. I mean, there was just not much I could do. So, anyway, thanks Mitch again for recording the games, and thanks for the great game. So after this last round of last round of Swiss, he was on 24 points. I was still on 18, and just hoping I might be able to make the top cut. The sweep guaranteed Mitch he was going to make the top cut because we're doing the cut to top 8. Although I had done some computations, and was pretty sure that things would have to be really wacky for me not to make the top cut. I think I was going to get in just on points, and at worst, there might be 6 of us tied at 18 points, and it would come down to strength of schedule, and one person would lose out. But I had played a lot of the top people. I'd played Kira mode. I played Mitch, so my strength of schedule seems pretty good. So even though this round isn't over yet as we're doing the commentary, I think I got a good shot to make top cut, and I guarantee I won't be playing those 2 decks I just played against Mitch in the top cut. I'll be too out to do, but thanks to him recording. Thanks to Master Jedi Adam for sponsoring the online tournament as always too. It's a lot of fun playing with all these people around the world, and hopefully Mitch said he's going to keep recording some games, so we'll get some more up from the online tournament, and with any luck, maybe I'll get a rematch with Mitch and see if I can avoid some of my mistakes and get a few better draws there with my light side deck. But so thanks for joining me for commentary as always, Derek. Appreciate it.
Yep, anytime.